But while we're on the topic of narration, I was also curious, and this is something I talk to a lot of my guests about, but because you do a lot of scripted work, but also unscripted work, do you find it easier to get your point across when you have a script that you're narrating, or do you find it easier to basically talk more freeform like this? Like, which way do you think you can articulate yourself better, if there's any difference at all?
Again, well, let's see. Maybe this would have helped if I did have a script. Like, I think I do a little better with a script, but yeah, like, because I do a lot of, I try to improvise a bit when I don't have a script, or if I just want to go a little bit more freeform. But
Right.
I really do like using scripts. I just like being creative with just thinking about, like, oh, I would say this way, or I would say things that way. But yeah, there are a lot of times where I don't have a script and I can just think of like weird things, like, just off the top of my head that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Right. There's like an underlying level of magic that's hard to tap into when you do use a script, even if you do articulate yourself perfectly fine with a script, right? There's like this certain
Yeah.
sense of just wit or something like that, that it's hard to translate that into such a post-written form. But what about when you're narrating other people's work? Like, let's say when you're doing voiceovers for Digino Gaming, do you find that, like, using someone else's words and then speaking it, is that still something that you feel almost like attached enough? Do you feel like you're articulating properly when you're using someone else's words? If that makes any sense, because sometimes when I read other people's stuff out loud, it feels like I know what this is supposed to mean, but I'm more conscious about what I'm saying and not the content of what's being said, right?
Right.
Right, or you could take this anywhere you want. I guess I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be, but just how does narrating for other people differ from narrating for yourself, basically?
Well, for Digino Gaming, that's the funny thing, because for every video that I have narrated on Digino Gaming, I also wrote, researched,
okay.
and pretty much everything else. I mean, I did get outside help from Shane, and he does, like, the final, like, he just looks over everything and makes sure it's like, okay, that's good, or maybe make some changes here. But yeah, the stuff that I have edited, the stuff that I have narrated has pretty much 90% been my own stuff. But in terms of, like, I did, like, a collaboration with somebody, and their writing style was different to mine, but they did a thing where it's like, does this sound natural to you? If this doesn't sound like something that you would say, you're free to improvise a little bit to
Right.
make it sound like something that you would say. But I guess it doesn't feel too weird, because I mean, as an actor, I mean, you're bound to just listen. Hold. You see, I know what I'm trying to say, but
Yeah. No, I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand what you're saying. It's like you're bound to the form of which you speak anyway, so you're already prone to just focusing in on how you sound as opposed to what you're actually saying.
Yeah, that sounds much better than what I was trying to articulate.
Right. So, and I wasn't aware that you were also doing a lot of the research for those videos you did with Digino Gaming. Is researching something you enjoy? Like, do you like picking apart things of history and bringing it to the forefront, or do you find that just to be a necessary hindrance to get your thoughts out there?
Oh no, I love it, because my family will be able to tell you that whenever I looked up stuff on, like, Wikipedia, or in the case of Pokemon, like Bulbapedia, when it was like, when I found interesting things about, like, Pokemon or something from a nature documentary, I'd be like, hey guys, did you know about this and this and this and this? And I just go on and on about this kind of stuff. So when I do research and then I find something that really interests me, I always go like, wow, I can't wait to share this with, like, everybody else who doesn't know about
Right.
this. This is going to be so cool. So I really like researching things and then finding out about stuff. And then I always try to look for, like, the most interesting stories, and then try and reword it, and then just put it into the video
Yeah.
in, like, a really interesting way. So I love research.
Right. Does it almost feel like collaborative to you, because you're finding source material out there and then finding a way to present it? Because, like, I kind of picture it as almost a two-man job, essentially, right? Of the person presenting the facts, and you're like, okay, how do I put this in a digestible format in the form of video, right? Like, do you get a sense of almost cooperation with researchers when you do that, or do you think it's mostly just an exercise of being able to translate history into meaning, basically?
So when it comes to collaborating with other researchers, I don't. Well, actually, I think I did do that for like we did a Did You Know Gaming on canceled Game Boy Advance games where me and Shane basically put the video together. I found like I researched 60 games and did all the research for that, and then Shane did the other ones. But yeah, I guess it's kind of cool how we collaborate that way and then try to find a fun way to put it all together, because sometimes like for that video I did my things and then Shane put them into like various genres. It's like this game goes here and then this game goes there, so it was interesting to see where my stuff would line up with his stuff, and the various writing styles not clash, because clash kind of sounds bad, but it's like, okay, so here's what this sounds like and then this is what this sounds like.
Right.
And when I do, like, I have a lot of creative freedom when it comes to researching, so I'll try and make like a sly pun or a dumb joke to like lead into a certain game for like a cool transition or something
Right.
funny and memorable. And I always try to say, it's like, hey, did you know who wrote this bit? Can you tell? Something
Right.
like that.
So not necessarily clashing, but almost weaving together to find the best of both styles, basically. That's what.
Yeah, and somehow it works.
Yeah, well, it works out great. I mean, the videos always turn out well. Hey there. You just watched a clip from my creative podcast. If you'd like to check out the full episode as well as other episodes as soon as they come out, you can support me over on Patreon for the $3 tier, or you can just subscribe here and wait for clips and podcast episodes to come out eventually.